And now it's time for The Late Show with your host, PattyJack.
How's it going, everyone? I am that socially awkward gamer you probably forgot existed. Otherwise known as PattyJack. Welcome to The Late Show with PattyJack. I'm still not 100% sure about that name. That's going to be a running gag now. Now I say that's a running gag, and none of you have any say in it. You don't. Ever. Joining me today is an ex-quote, I don't know, employee of mine. Would you say that's what you are? Maybe?
Kind of, sort of, a little bit.
Yeah, little bit of that action. Alright, would you like to kind of, formally introduce yourself then? Because I just kind of butchered that whole thing.
Well, my name is Alex Schneider. A lot of my friends call me Schneids, because it's, I don't know, fun.
I don't, we're
enjoyable,
not friends.
You know. What?
What?
What are you saying here? Saying, you can call me Schneids, of course you can.
Oh, I'm glad to be in the privileged few.
That's where my my YouTube channel came from, Schneids1001, because
there's 1,001 of you.
That's my nick. I don't know, 1001. It's easier than doing 1262. I don't know, something like random like that. But now, ever since I did the YouTube channel, it's on my Twitter. It's everything I do now.
So what do you do on your YouTube channel then?
Well, I usually record, gaming videos, just like you do.
Big shocker.
And yeah, and I did it really spotty, over like a few years.
Yeah.
Record, upload, for a good time, and then all of a sudden stop for a while, and then come back, do a little here or there, And actually, just recently, probably I don't know, a few weeks ago, I've been doing short videos, and uploading them, trying to get back into it a little bit.
So what type of videos are you doing now?
Well, I actually play a lot of the Xbox. So when I'm on there, I usually say, Xbox, record that, and it records 30 seconds or a minute. It depends. I think you can edit that in settings.
So
whatever.
How good is the Xbox recording then? Is it actually decent enough to upload?
It's actually pretty good, surprisingly.
Yeah, because I tried using the PlayStation 4 one at one point and it was kind of shoddy. So I have no idea how the consoles are doing with that. But that's cool. Can you actually put your voice into it? Does it record all that as well, or is it literally just gameplay right now?
Well, what it is you say Xbox record that, so it records it and it sends it into, I don't know, your personal whatever things on your Xbox.
Yeah.
And then there's, I guess, this editing software on the Xbox just for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually go in there and edit it a little bit. You can actually get videos together. So you can actually, it's real, editing software on there. And then you can actually also record your voice and stuff after the fact. I don't know if, when you're playing and you're talking, if it records it too. But I don't know. That's how it's been going.
Fun stuff. Great stuff. All right. So other than that, how's life been treating you?
Well, I aside from video gaming, often enough, I'm working, trying to save up that money. Who doesn't love money?
Not me. That's why I'm going into journalism.
Oh, it's awkward.
I think we'll
just
awkward.
End this right here now. We'll just stop right there then. I don't know. It's kind of tough to think, when you're just living life. You don't really think about what you're doing, and then when someone asks, "Oh, what have you been up to?" You just kind of you have to think about it, because then sometimes it's well, I don't really know. It's everyday stuff, I guess. It's kind of boring.
I go the most boring thing imaginable. You're well, yesterday I got a haircut.
2 days ago, I went to the grocery store. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I saw some nice watermelons there.
Yeah,
potatoes. There's some, onions. And, I remember there was toilet paper there, too. It was incredible.
And expensive. Have you seen the prices on toilet paper lately?
Well, toilet paper and, whatever, what's that called? paper towels.
They have like
all that
4-ply
stuff
as well now too. Who gets 4-ply? That's crazy.
Someone who has, anal distortion.
Isn't distortion like an audio thing?
I don't know. It just sounded like it fit. How about this? Anal leakage.
Anal leakage?
It's
What?
It's a serious thing.
Okay. Let's get off the topic of anal leakage. Okay,
no.
so other than that, let's get back onto the topic about video games. So, like, what have you been playing lately? And like, is there anything like coming up that you're really looking forward to as well?
Okay, so here's the thing. This is actually one of the things I actually want to talk about. It came back to me.
Baller.
Now.
Let's do it. Let's do real content.
So I used to be that gamer who'd play, these video games and play it from beginning to end and like not play any other games like in between. I'd come home, play it for like a few hours or like an hour or whatever it might be. And I'd do that, until I finished the game.
That'd be like single player games mostly?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying like if I was like playing like, the campaign.
I prestiged 11 times in Call of Duty. In a week?
No. Oh, in a week?
In a week.
No, I don't do that. I mean, I'm talking about like, Fallout, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Those
are things I like.
Mass Effect. Those type of like story-driven games a bit more. But then there's like, side quests and whatnot. But I'd play that for like, I don't know, a good month. Sometimes even like longer depending how long it takes me. And, I'd finish it. But now, for some reason, it's so tough to be able to just like my interest the whole time. Like right now I'm playing Fallout 4. I haven't finished the main storyline of that yet. I'm trying to like do that now. Now what else am I playing? Now I can't even think about it.
To be fair though, Fallout 4 honestly has a hard time holding a lot of people's interests, I find, because really it's not as RPG-ish as the other ones, if you know what I mean. It's like when you're playing the game, you just kind of get the feeling that, well, I'm just kind of going through the motions, like I'm doing the story. There's like maybe one or two choices you make, but nothing. It doesn't feel as consequential as a game like New Vegas did. And I still maintain that New Vegas is the best Fallout game in the entire series. You can fight me on that if you want.
Hours and hours.
Yeah,
of that, both on the PC and system.
Yeah, and it's just really, in my opinion, down to Bethesda just. They keep trying to shove like these like the Mass Effect style of everything down your throat, and I'm so sick of it. I want my like Pillars of Eternity style, like Baldur's Gate style RPG mechanics where I get all these stupid quest options. Like if I want to kill this random person, I'll go kill them. To hell with this quest. But in Fallout 4, it's like no matter what you do, you are some form of a good guy. You can be kind of a dick, but you're still a good guy. And that bothers me because it eliminates all the role-playing aspects, and that is what I like played Skyrim for, and what I still play it for. Like all the like the ability just to be any character I want to, and they really limited that in Fallout 4, which really annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the hype and expectations for Fallout 4 was like, so incredible and like grand that you kind of like figure it's going to be a letdown. Well, hoping it wouldn't be a letdown. But when something gets so hyped, usually it's going to be like it's hard to hit, the expectations of a lot of people. And, Fallout 4, it kind of, like a lot of people were saying how it's like fell short of their expectations by a lot.
Yeah, and I really like the game. Like,
don't get me wrong.
I talk shit about it, but I really enjoy it. I've got like 96 hours in it at this point, and it's fun. It's just I want more of my traditional Fallout experience with these new mechanics that they've added in, because the gameplay I love. I think it's a huge improvement. Like everything, like all the enemy types and how they do like damage to you, and just like the entire atmosphere of the game I feel is improved, but it's just this storyline barrier that I feel like Bethesda has always struggled with. And that's why when you look at Fallout New Vegas, like how much better the storylines were and the questing was in that game, it's mostly because Obsidian is just better at creating those quest lines.
Yeah.
And my dream right now is for Obsidian to actually get Fallout, like get a license to make like a Fallout 4 spin-off game like they did with New Vegas, because I think that they could do wonders with that engine and with all the capabilities that they have.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Especially with all the, because they introduced like a lot of stuff in Fallout 4 that's really like cool, like updating like the whole VAT system, and all like the graphics are pretty dang good in that, and then even the building process, building your own settlement.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just when you first start the game, it's like they just kind of throw you in the deep end for it.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to figure things out on your own for the most part. But I mean, once you get, you understand everything, it's fantastic,
Yeah, I've probably spent like a third of my time in that game just making my settlements. Like like I went to Egret Tours Marina and I just spent like probably a day building things. They're like building houses and adding on to buildings, and like there's like a dock that jets out of that, so I turned it into a bar, and it was great. And I called it the Rusty Mirelurk. And I put like a little like Mirelurk like plaque on the front of it as well, like its claw, and I was like, that's cool. That's awesome. I like this game.
Probably a good third of the time spent in that game is just like building or getting like resources to make something or to build something,
Yeah, it's quite obvious that they took a lot of the inspiration from that as well, from like a lot of early access titles, like like Rust and Daisy and Minecraft and all that,
Well, all those games like exploded,
Yeah.
There, thousands and thousands of people played those games and loved it, gave a bunch of good feedback on it. So like, oh, maybe we should, integrate that, integrate that into our game too. And they did a pretty good job on it too.
Yeah, and it was kind of refreshing that we get those mechanics in a game that's actually like done.
Yeah.
As like crappy as it is to say, most of those early access games are never going to get finished, and they have so many problems and bugs. And not that Fallout 4 doesn't have just as many, but overall it is still more of a complete product. So it was nice to see like those mechanics actually be fleshed out for once. That was like really refreshing.
Yeah. The one thing though, while we're still talking about Fallout 4, is that they recently announced all of the DLCs. Not all of them, but several
a ton
DLCs.
Of them, and they sound pretty good.
Yeah. There's like the water one. Like I didn't really like read too much of it. I just kind of like looked at it, like a couple of them. But then there's like a robot, like you can build your own, and he can follow you around, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I feel like the island DLC, like the big one they're doing, they might like throw in those like underwater combat mechanics that they had like leaked out of that people found like in the game files.
Yeah, like the underwater like buildings and stuff.
Yeah, they found like a harpoon gun or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, everyone's like, oh yeah, there's like these like underwater things, and like they go into the, what's that called, like the cache of the game where they can find like all the weapons. Yeah. And they found like you said, the harpoon gun and stuff. So everyone was saying
like bubbles coming off of it too, because it was obviously supposed to be underwater.
Yeah, so like everyone like already kind of assumed it was coming, but that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way,
the only thing I really don't want in that DLC is all the Mirelurks that are inevitably going to be there.
Oh yeah,
they're hard to fight, but they get annoying to fight, and sometimes there's so many of them. And it gets boring.
Go into like a factory that's like flooded, and then you just like have tons of them just start coming out.
20 of them, and you're like, oh, it's Mirelurks. I should have seen this coming.
Yep, shotgun.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's great to be able to like walk around and like I was walking around in a swamp one time, and all of a sudden, just literally out of nowhere, a Mirelurk queen pops up, scares the hell out of me. Or
yeah. I've been there.
There's one place in that game too where you go inside a building and then one pops out in the middle of the room, and you have nowhere to go.
Oh
and it was the first time I'd ever seen one, and my character probably crapped his pants.
That happens like with the ghouls too.
Oh man!
Sometimes they pop out of nowhere too.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like when they crawl through like the windows and everything. I love it.
When I first like saw like one of them like I don't know like snuck up behind me or something, like hit me, and I just like started shooting everywhere. I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, no, there was one point
trigger.
in my Fallout zombie survival series where I was in like that super duper mart where there's all these ghouls everywhere, and they all started just like attacking me once. I had like 5 health left, so I just jumped onto a barrel and just unloaded my gun into all of them.
I remember that going into the marketplace.
Yeah,
like I wasted so much ammo in that place because there's just so many of them.
And there really wasn't anything good in there either. I came out of it and I was like, wow, this was completely pointless. Then I went outside and the mod I had like spawned probably 50 of them outside the door. I was not impressed.
One monster nest into another.
I love the ghouls in that game. They're probably my favorite enemy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That and I don't know.
What else? The
super mutants are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I came across, I think, in my tens of hours, I've probably come across only like 2 behemoths. I think. See, they weren't as like intimidating to me. You know, like once you actually look at, no, they're intimidating. Wrong choice of words. Actually fighting them, I don't find is that difficult. Maybe I'm just really good at Fallout. What do you think? No, they're not that bad. Like once you figure out, like first time you see them, just like the Mirelurk Queen, the first time you see it, you know, you kind of like piss yourself a little bit, and you're like, oh god, how am I going to kill it? Yeah. But once you kill it like one time, the next time you come across it, or several times, then you're good. Yeah,
like I feel like one of my least favorite enemies in that game, oddly enough, is the actual raiders. It just like they seem to just not have updated like the bandit type characters in their game. Whereas like I feel like every other enemy in that game has had some sort of cool update, but the raiders are just kind of there. And like I don't know, they all like they're always just out for blood all the time. I never feel sorry for them or anything, and it's just like I tried to do with my character. I tried to do like kind of a pacifist route as well, because you can get that charisma perk where you can like pacify enemies, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with it is every time you holster your weapon, they get unpacified and try to attack you again. Or if you like wander through, like if you wander too far away from them, then they'll become hostile again, and they'll like start shooting at me and my companion again. And it's like it bothers the hell out of me, because if they were to put that in there, why wouldn't they just make it so you can like take their weapon away from them or something like that, or like knock them out? That just seems like something that should have been in there, because I really wanted to do that. And that's all that pacifist perk made me want to do, was to be like, okay, why can't I just do like complete pacifism and like not be a murderous psychopath? Because everything about the character isn't like goes towards like, oh, I don't want to kill people, or I'm not a bad guy, and then you just go and murder hundreds of people.
Whoever pulls a gun on you, you just blow their heads off.
Yeah, it's just like there's no way to get around it, and I know that's been a thing in like every Bethesda game, but I feel like it's time for a change up, maybe. That would be nice.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's enough about Fallout 4.
Yeah, we could probably...
That was like a 20-minute tangent.
That was a long conversation just on Fallout 4.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to go to a quick break here. I got a couple of new commercials for you guys, so stick around and we will be right back. Thousands of YouTubers go hungry every day. Or they're at least forced to get a part-time job. You have the power to change that. By sharing their content with your friends, your family, and coworkers, you help YouTubers overcome the odds and prevent them from being productive members of society. One view isn't enough. Like, share, and subscribe today. It's always been your dream to guest on a podcast. Don't lie, I know it has. Well, you're in luck. I'm always looking for new guests on The Late Show with Patty Jack, so if you're a YouTuber, game developer, industry worker, or anyone else, feel free to get in contact. Those interested in guesting on The Late Show with Patty Jack can send an email to IAmPattyJack@gmail.com. That's IAmPattyJack@gmail.com.
Today's episode is brought to you by World of War Pets. Pilot dogs, cats, and canaries in this class-based MMO that was labeled too bloody for children under 22 years old. Pre-order the Blood Battle expansion pack to send thousands of small creatures to their deaths all at once. World of War Pets, now available on Mac, PC, iOS, Android, and Dreamcast. Holy shit.
Everyone loves zombie survival games. Too bad for you, none of them are finished. That's why I took it upon myself to create Schneids, the premier zombie survival Let's Play on YouTube. What makes it so great? Apart from my award-winning voice and personality, it features undead monsters, engaging stories, hardcore parkour, and a creamy ranch dressing. Okay, I lied about the dressing. Schneids, the only thing featuring zombies that isn't in early access. Welcome back, everyone. I am that socially awkward gamer you probably forgot existed. IAmPattyJack. Still joining me is Schneids. Say hi again.
Hola.
Alright, so in the break, you said that you wanted to talk about a couple TV shows, including Vikings, which is something I've never seen. Why should I care about that TV show? And what is it? Other than Vikings.
Oh, boy. Okay, so I'll say it without any spoilers, or I'll try my best. I don't think I'll give away anything.
Is the spoiler that they're Vikings?
Yes.
Or that
true.
they're... Okay, they're Vikings, but it's modern day.
Modern day Vikings. They go
that
around.
That would be the best show ever.
Go around into the skyscrapers and people in their cubicles.
They have like a longboat on wheels that they drive through like New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, stew it up.
That's you already seen the show. You said you never saw it.
Ah, God damn it.
Well, actually, all right. So the real show, it's on History Channel. Or you said it was actually on Netflix too.
I feel like I've seen it on Netflix. I don't know.
But either way, it's called Vikings. It follows the story of Ragnar Lothbrok. He's like kind of like the main character for the most part. And what it is
he red?
He red?
There once was a hero named Ragnar the Red.
Oh,
he came riding to Whiterun from Old Rorikstead.
Oh,
the bragger,
no,
the swagger, and
completely different.
As he told of bold battles and gold he had made.
You know, I'm surprised you actually know the
900 hours.
How many times of those 900 hours have you heard that?
Over 100.
Yep, and it's burned into your memory forever.
Yep.
But this Ragnar, he's a little different. He has a big, bushy beard, and his
sounds like the same Ragnar.
Oh, hang on. And then in this season, he's bald now, but he lives at Kattegat, I think it is. That's the name of the town he lives in. And what happens is he goes out, skipping a bunch of like details and whatnot in there for how he actually gets to here at this point. He travels from Kattegat to England and France and pillages, raids. There's a bunch of like story in there. Other than just killing people, but that's obviously a big thing. Vikings, killing, pillaging, and whatnot. But it's actually a really good TV show. And season, I think it's 4, just started last night, and it was really good. Really good.
It was really good. What would you rate it out of like 17?
Out of 17?
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite shows right now. I'd probably give it like 15.
Baller.
17.
Oh, I just remembered. I saw Deadpool last night.
I have not seen that yet. So
I won't spoil it for you.
I'm getting ready to see that.
I will say it's a solid 7.5.
Out of?
I don't know, 10.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking to 17 again.
But the thing is, like, with me, if I say something like 7.5, that's still really good. Because in my opinion, a 10 is like perfect.
Yeah.
And no movie is perfect.
I don't think I have any like 10 movies. Like I have like 9 where I'm like, oh, that's really really good. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah. But there's always something. There's always a flaw. Same with video games and everything. And the way I score things, it's like 10. You would have to be literally perfect. And
you like everything about it.
Yeah, Deadpool is not perfect, but it's like I say like probably 80% of the jokes hit, and that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like there's a couple things like I found like the CGI wasn't that great at some points. Especially like you ever see the trailer that they initially released when he was like on the freeway?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole section and part of the movie, I don't know. To me, it just looked a little under budgeted.
You can kind of tell.
Yeah. And I feel like that's been a problem with not just Deadpool, but a lot of like the X-Men movies as well. Just something about their CGI team just isn't quite up to snuff as I'd say like Marvel's team is.
I was about to say, isn't I know Deadpool, and then isn't X-Men also with Fox?
Yeah, Sony. I think Sony Fox or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very surprised by the movie because I went into it not expecting a whole lot, because historically they just haven't, like, I haven't actually been a big fan of the X-Men movies either. Like, a lot of them are good, but I was just never super enthralled by the universe that they created for the X-Men. I feel like it would be a lot more interesting if it actually was in, like, the Disney Marvel universe. But that's because I'm a fanboy for that universe as well, and I recognize that. So
yeah.
But I think the best part of the movie is that they literally just gave Ryan Reynolds the okay to do whatever he wanted to do.
I heard that he had a lot of freedom, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell that he just had fun making the movie, and that really translated onto the screen, so I really enjoyed the hell out of it. So that was baller. Deadpool is really good. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a good step up, and it's a hell of a lot better than all the other movie portrayals of that character so far.
Action, comedy.
Yeah,
kind of stuff. That's good.
And he took every chance he could to like rip on Green Lantern and like Wolverine Origins, and
I heard there was some little like things like that where he just like talks about it like real quick, like hints towards it.
That was they do more than hint to it, trust me, and that was probably like a 16th of the jokes, but it was still great every time. I loved it.
At one point, he like holds up like a picture of, I'm pretty sure, of himself as like the Green Lantern or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things like that. So I won't spoil them all for you because that would ruin everything. But Deadpool, it gets a thumbs up. Again, not perfect, but you know. Okay. Any other TV shows you've been watching, or movies, or anything like that?
I got one that probably doesn't have like a whole lot of fame, not as much as like Vikings, and I also love Game of Thrones too, and like Walking Dead and whatnot. But a smaller TV show is like a science fiction one. It's called The Expanse.
Never heard of it. No.
Never heard of it?
No.
It's where let's see here. It's where there's Earth, there's an asteroid colony, and then there's Mars. Okay, and they're like three different like I don't know what the word is, like confederations, or I don't know, like they're kind of separated, you know?
Okay. Like
different leaders and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I guess there's like a bunch of tension between them. Because, like, I don't know, there's, like, water and, like, I don't know, a bunch of random stuff like that. And I guess, like, there's, like, a war building up in between, like, all three of them. And, you know, you have Earth and Mars are kind of, like, the two, like, strongest. And, like, they always have, like, friction between them. And they have, like, big militaries and stuff, while, like, the asteroid colony is, like, more of, you know, smugglers and a bunch of, like, you know, those type of people.
Oh, that sounds cool. I'll get on board with that colony. Screw the other ones. I want to be a smuggler. That is my dream. Be a sci-fi space smuggler. Yeah, that sounds like a baller time.
You should watch The Expanse. And it's different. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think. It's like a futuristic, so it's kind of like a Star Trek-y, feel to it.
I can dig that.
But it's like only in our like solar system. So there's like, you know, Mars, you know, Earth and stuff like that.
So no aliens or anything.
No aliens, but the asteroid colony people, because they're in low gravity, they're like a lot like taller and lankier, and like they're not built as like, you know, firm because there's no gravity pushing on them.
Yeah, that's weird.
So like if a colonist from the asteroid, like they grew up there and stuff, so they're going to be like a little bit like tall and lanky. If they go to Earth, it's like kind of feels like bone shattering. Because all the gravity is like pushing on you, so it's like kind of like torture, you know.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It has like some political stuff in there, but then also there's like action, you know, some space fights and whatnot.
Yeah. So is Mars like colonized then, or like, I mean, like, okay, is there like an atmosphere there, or is it like all like bubble?
Well, stuff? They actually have the first season like just ended like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole first season, you never like see Mars. and the only time you ever see anything with Mars is like they get on like a ship, I think, and like they have like some interactions with like some Mars ships, but they never actually like go to Mars and like show like any buildings or anything there. Like they pretty much stayed like with the asteroid colonies and some like Earth too, but they never actually like showed Mars. But probably in season 2 they'll be getting
like a
into
big
that
reveal
more
and everything.
Yeah, but it's good if you like action, science fiction, that kind of deal.
Yeah,
I'd suggest that one.
Cool. Speaking of action, science fiction, let's talk about a terrible show that I keep watching for some reason. All right.
No!
So over the last 2 days, I've been binging The 100 because I had already gone through the first season, and now I'm watching through the second one, and my God. That show is literally just characters making poor decisions. Literally every decision in that show is the worst decision you could possibly make. And and anytime someone does a not bad decision, someone else just does a bad decision. Then they get back into the same situation they were in before. And you think that at some point they're just gonna make a good decision, right? No, doesn't happen. Every time you think that, okay, they can't possibly screw this up anymore. And they do. And then people die or something, right? And, the show actually, has its fair bit of, gruesome scenes and everything. Because they're, on... the premise of the show is there's, a colony in space that was blasted off there from Earth because Earth was, destroyed by a nuclear apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
And, spoiler for the first episode... They end up going back down to Earth and find out that it's kind of that there's still fauna and flora and stuff there because they're filming it in America, so they needed an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still people there and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they and then they end up there's all this tension between different clans and all this stuff, and there's a fair bit of gruesome scenes. When people die, they get stabbed through their torsos
Massacred.
and stuff. Yeah, because I'll actually give them credit. They actually do go all out for those types of scenes, and it really works. And there's things people get surgery and stuff, but they don't have anesthetic or anything. So it's literally just cutting them open while they're awake. Ugh.
And have a belt in their mouth or something.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But all of that happens because these other characters just make the stupidest decision imaginable, and it makes for great TV. It's not... The writing in that show is the worst. The people that are on Earth after, all these years, they still have, American accents. They make zero effort to hide it. And
wow.
It's terrible, but in the best possible way. I keep watching it because I want to see what gets screwed up next and what the fallout of that is.
Who gets killed because they did this.
Yeah, and there's certain characters that aren't going to die, but you want to see how they're forced to kill someone else or something like that. It's great. There's something about it that makes me keep watching it, even though the writing is absolutely terrible, but it's just terrible in the best way.
That's probably what they're trying to... That's what all TV shows go for. It's just trying to hold on to retention.
I feel in the first season they weren't doing that, and then by the end of it, with the reception the whole series got, I feel they were just okay, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna go balls out with this and see how crazy we can make things. And to their credit, they are absolutely succeeding. It's going many different places. And ugh.
Maybe not the best places, but
no, but the most entertaining places definitely.
Okay,
any other TVs, movies, nothing?
Not off the top of my head. That's about.
I got caught up on the latest episode of The Walking Dead.
I haven't seen any of the new Walking Dead.
I'll actually say that's, I don't know, are they on season? I think it's season 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah, the season that they're going through right now is actually good, and I didn't like whichever season they were trying to get. They were just on the road the entire time.
I think that was 2.
Well,
3.
2 was when they were on the farm.
Yeah, 2 was Herschel's farm, so it's probably 3.
Yeah, and I don't hate 2 as much as a lot of other people do, but there was that one season where they're trying to get to that other place. It was after, and that one almost broke me. But then this season has actually been pretty good.
It's tough to, because you like a series a lot, and then it ends, and then it's really tough sometimes to get back into it when it starts up, 8 months later.
And The Walking Dead is just so touch and go all the time. I mean, literally every season in that show is they go to a safe house, it gets overrun, they leave.
And then they move on, and then they're traveling, and then they get to another place. Yeah.
It gets overrun, and then they leave. And it's like, okay, I've seen enough.
Someone dies, too.
Yeah, and...
a couple deaths thrown in.
Yeah. Inconsequential characters, obviously.
Yep.
Glenn can't die. Maggie can't die. Rick can't die.
Carl.
Oh my god. I'm not going to spoil this, but god damn it. That kid is the most useless person in the goddamn world.
Isn't it, I heard a joke about this. Someone saying, like, it's Arl because he can't see.
Oh my god.
Is that right? He doesn't
maybe. I'm not going to spoil this because anyone listening might get spoiled, but yeah.
There's something about seeing, so that's all.
They talk about that show being repetitive, and then that confirms it. So that's all I'm going to say.
Carl lets me down all the time.
Yeah.
There's a couple people that just...
Carl, that kills people, Carl.
Carl, stop.
Okay, so let's move on to the last topic, because this is something you want to talk about from the start of the podcast, and that was kind of like your transition between styles of gaming. So, I don't know exactly where you want to go with that, so I'm just going to let you, take it from here. So, you're on the spot right now!
On the spot for this. Well, what I was saying was, most... I'm not saying all, at least nowadays.
No, definitively all people. This is completely objective.
No, it's not all people.
Yeah, it is.
I was gonna say all people start off playing console games, but that's not true.
I started off playing a PC game.
See? That's
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I'm saying maybe back, with us more so, people who are in their 20s or 30s are more console, because there's the Segas and PS2s and stuff.
Yeah.
And PCs weren't super huge until, the 2000s, really.
I'd argue that they were huge back then. It was just more of a segregated market.
Yeah.
So if you were playing on a PC back then, you were oh, I'm the PC gamer, I'm the nerd
Master
type
race.
Person. Yeah.
PC
and it was
race.
They wouldn't even socialize with console gamers. There was a much bigger divide back then, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, now there's still arguments and whatnot about what's better.
Yeah, but it's more satirical than anything.
A lot of games are multi, what's that called?
Cross-platform multiplayer?
Or multi-platform,
I don't know.
where you can play the same game PC, Xbox, PS4.
Yeah, it's not like you just have this game. You just have Halo on the Xbox or whatever. Yeah. I mean, Halo's still on the Xbox, but I own Combat Evolve on PC, and I'm super proud of that.
Really?
Yeah, it's baller. Okay, take it away again. Sorry.
Where was I going with it? What were we even talking about?
Talking about people starting on PC and then or people starting on consoles. I don't know.
Yeah. You play console games, so you're on the controller the whole time, so you kind of get that that feel of a controller the whole time.
Yeah.
And then with me, I go into high school and then I start playing PC games more. So now I'm mouse and keyboard. Mm-hmm. But then I also have a remote controller that can connect to the computer.
Yeah.
So I always like controllers. So now I don't really play a lot of PC action. I'm more of a console gamer again.
So why is that?
Because I don't know, it's weird. It's I feel it's easier to get on the console than to jump on the PC for some reason. Mm-hmm. And it's more complicated to use mouse and keyboard than use a controller because, mouse and keyboard you have, a completely different layout. You have so many more button options, and configurations. While a controller you have, X, A, B, Y, or for PS4 it's was it triangle, square, circle, whatever, X. So it's a lot more simpler, and it's just a couple of joysticks and stuff. I feel I don't know, it's just so much simpler and easier to like get,
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna bring friends over and have them playing on my PC.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
we'll still break out the Xbox or whatever. But
Yeah.
like with me, I've always been okay. I haven't always been like a PC player. I've always been kind of multifaceted. Like in my early years, because I was never allowed to like have a console or anything when I was a kid, so we got like a PlayStation finally. But at that point I was already playing things on my computer, so I was kind of doing both.
Yeah.
But it was always nice to have people come over and play like Battlefront on my PlayStation or whatever, or like WWE and everything.
I mean, when I was younger, I didn't only play console. Like I also like jumped on the computer, but I didn't have a computer at my house. Like I go to my grandparents' house and play. Yeah. And what it was the game Stronghold Crusader?
Yeah.
Or Stronghold series or Age of Empires?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those games. That's what I would like play on the PC, like strategy games.
Yeah,
but that's
it was
like
kind of the same for me too. It's like if I was going to play on console, it was a lot of the time it was say like your Battlefronts or like your sports games or whatever.
Shooters, RPGs, stuff like that. And while on the PC, it's like strategy. Is that
the thing with PC too was when I was younger and like our family didn't like necessarily have a lot of money, it was a lot cheaper to get PC games because you could get them like when they're discounted when they're a bit older, right?
That's one of the pluses of the PC too.
Because like consoles, when they like the games do drop in price, they usually don't go under like $10, right?
Yeah.
But like I got for $20 at one point, I think I got like that Star Wars pack with It had Battlefront, Knights of the Old Republic, Empire at War, and like it had a trial for Star Wars Galaxies, Republic Commando, right? So I get these bundles for PC and just play the hell out of those. And then I just play whatever I want to on my console. But I find that in later years now, it is like almost exclusively PC gaming. Like I'm not even considering buying like a PlayStation right now.
Well, actually, I had a PS4 and Xbox One, then I have my PC. Mm-hmm. But I bought that myself. Like, I work, so I go out and get my own stuff. But I just actually sold on eBay my PS4 because I didn't really play it that much, Because, you have your exclusives, but really it's not really worth it. Or like
on the PS4 side?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've always been more of Xbox, to be honest.
Okay.
And, you have a couple exclusives for each console once in a while. And if you think about it, it's really not worth it for, like, 2 games a year.
Yeah,
that's going to be, like,
that's the
good
thing.
exclusives.
Like, the only thing I considered buying a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One for was, as stupid as this sounds, it was for WWE 2K, like, 15 and 16. Because I've always loved to just dick around in those games and do whatever the hell I want to, and I was like, okay, this career mode actually sounds kind of good, but then I didn't buy it because I heard the game wasn't that great, and I was like, well, I'm not going to spend like $500 just to play this one game, right? Because there's honestly no other games on those consoles that I would consider getting other than like maybe Halo or something, but I'd never buy it at full price.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the other benefit to PC right now for me is in Canada up here, our dollar is terrible. So all these games are costing like $70 each, right? Yeah, it's like $70 for a AAA release. But I can go to like GMG and get like 25% discounts. So I can get like AAA games for like $45 instead. And it's just way more beneficial for me to game on a PC right now. Why would I ever switch it up at this point in my life?
Well, one other thing is, like how on the PC you could always like get the games online, through Steam or whatever.
Yeah. And
now I've kind of like gotten into more over the past like year or two. Like I always used to buy the physical copies of, Xbox games or sometimes like PC games too. But now I just get a digital download. It's easier, and I don't know. It's just good that way.
So you're getting that like on your Xbox then?
Yeah, you just it's pretty much like Steam on the Xbox. The Xbox store.
It's good to see that they're kind of going in that direction now because honestly, I don't know, I just never liked the whole like going in and buying my games. It's so much easier to do it.
Yeah,
to just download it.
Once in a while, like if it's a game that I really like looking forward to, like The Witcher 3. You ever played that? Well, that game I got like what's that called? Collector's edition?
Yeah.
So I got like this nice like I bust, I guess you could call it, of Geralt fighting a griffin and like a cool art book and stuff. So once in a while I go, a little bit more expensive for a physical copy. So rather than pay like $60 for just like a game, I go and spend like 100 or like 150, but I get all this other cool stuff.
Yeah,
but I only do that like once in like, if it's a game I'm really looking forward to, do I do that?
Yeah, collector's editions are a totally different ball game, right? I mean, there's plenty of games that I would buy as a collector's edition. I usually don't because I have no money, but it's just like going into like GameStop or like in Canada EB Games. That's still a thing.
There's
by
still
the way.
EB Games up
EB
there,
Games
huh?
still exists. Yep,
Oh
we don't
my
have.
God, I thought it's extinct.
We don't have GameStop.
Wow,
It's all EB Games.
I remember EB Games.
Yeah, it's there and in. I
Those
think
were better days.
Australia still has it too.
Did
And-
GameStop like buy it out or something?
Yeah, GameStop owns EB Games. I'm pretty sure, and then obviously in the UK it's Game or whatever.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's just called Game. And
Game.
that's such a European thing. Sounds like a fashion
Yeah.
line. Game.
Game.
It's like their version of Gunner Optics, but
Game. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I didn't like going into those stores though because you're always like pressured into like doing all this other crap. It's like, oh, have you got your EB Edge card? Have you got this? Have you got that? Did you know you can do this? And it's like, yeah. Did you know that literally all these promotions are pretty much ripping me off? So I don't know. Everything's so much simpler now. I'm over the whole EB Games thing. Although I did go in there like last week and I bought Battlefield Bad Company because that game was never released for PC. The second one was. The first one wasn't. And I started playing. Yep, I started playing the campaign for that because I love it, and that's the one thing that I will give them credit for. You can still go in and find like old used games.
Oh yeah.
You can find some gems.
For the longest time, I remember they still had like original Xbox games or like PS2 games. I don't know. I haven't been to my
some
local,
of them
like,
do
GameStop,
still,
but like you go like into the store and then they just have like a random like I don't know what that's called, like a little cart in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's just like Xbox games. So
Yes.
they're dirt cheap because who wants to buy
Yeah,
those now?
some of them do in like very limited supplies, I find, but oddly enough, like dollar stores have them now.
Really?
It's really weird. Yeah, I bought a couple years ago. I bought the Burger King games at a dollar store. Yeah,
Burger King games.
yeah. So they like have you heard of those ones?
No, but
Okay, so it's
I
like
feel
it's like a 3-pack of games, and one of them involves you running around as the Burger King.
Oh dear God.
And trying to like sneakily hand people burgers. Like you hide in like garbage cans and bushes and stuff, and then you pop out
like...
beside them with a burger and you give it to them.
Yeah, because everyone wants to eat the burger that's a man is holding out of like trash can.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's great. And it also comes with like a bumper cars game as well with like all the Burger King mascots. I didn't know Burger King had more than one mascot, by the way.
I had
the purple
zero
idea.
Dude.
No, but that's
that
McDonald's. That's McDonald's.
Oh God,
that's Grimace.
I'm on the wrong one. Now I'm thinking of a different. Is that? Oh, maybe it is.
Maybe I don't know. Like the big giant purple guy.
Yeah,
that guy's most definitely that is Grimace, and he's with McDonald's, man.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Well, I mean, you think of McDonald's and Burger King. McDonald's, clown. Burger King, king. The king. So, all these like lesser folk around it, they kind of get blurred.
I had no idea that Burger King had other mascots. Apparently they do, but yeah. So I bought those games, but they had like a bunch of random ass like original Xbox games as well. Like, they had Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Oh,
they
that's
had,
a good game.
But it's like just completely random assortments of games. So you can find them in dollar stores usually nowadays, but I don't know. It's kind of yeah. It's weird how times change because I don't remember seeing like Dreamcast games in dollar stores.
I mean, back in the day, I don't even remember there being dollar stores really. Now it's really popular.
I worked in one in high school. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, we just had old people coming in all the time and buying like popsicle sticks for their art supplies. It was
how much for this pack of popsicle sticks?
Yeah, grossest moment of my life. And this guy obviously had something like medical condition wrong with him, and that sucks for him, right?
Oh, here we go.
He comes up and he buys whatever the hell he was buying, and all over his arms, right, it looked like this, like, kind of, like, pale yellow fungus growing in, like, little sprouts on his arms and hands.
Well, that
was
sounds awful.
And then he handed me his money, and I hesitated trying to take it, because I was like, oh my god, is this shit contagious, right? and, like, normally, like, normally, if there's something wrong with you, that's cool, right? Everyone's got their fucking health problems. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But this one just grossed me the hell out. It was, like, to the level of, like, I thought I was gonna, like, get some weird, like, fungus rash all over my body from taking this guy's money.
Was it pussing?
No, it was like
Oozy?
this. No, it literally looked like this, like, dried fungus, like actual fungus, and it just, I don't know what the hell it was. It was some dermatology thing. He needs to go get checked out. Old guy, if you're still there, go get that checked out.
I'm here.
Right?
I'm here.
And and again, like, I'm sorry that I have to say that and sound like a dick about it. But there's a certain point where it's real, where you need to go get it checked out. And honestly, I don't want to be dealing with your weird fungus hands. All right,
and this story's from when you were in high school?
Yeah.
How old was the guy?
Probably like mid-70s. He could still be alive.
I was gonna say he might not be.
It's very possible. Although if he still has fungus growing on him, I doubt he is.
The fungus could have spread to his, head.
He could have
into his brain.
He could have turned into the giant mushroom dad person from the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, so that's what he has a very, his career is gonna skyrocket when they finally make that sequel. Then it's gonna be great.
Oh no.
I hope they make the sequel, man. They left it on a cliffhanger.
He'll make millions.
I need to know what's happening.
Oh man.
Okay, I feel like that's the best signal to end it then.
The fungus guy, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Alright, so thank you everyone for tuning in all the way to the end of The Late Show with Patty Jack. Alex, would you like to plug your content, tell people where they can find you, etc.?
Schneids1001 on everything, Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff.
Okay, and what can they look forward to coming from you content-wise in the future, if you have any idea?
Well, I recently just finished editing a bunch of like multiplayer Rocket League stuff. And
Baller.
that's always fun, Rocket League.
I'm still considering buying that game.
It's still fun. I haven't played it in a while, but you can get into it again.
Yeah.
It's like a game you can get bored of, but then can come back to.
Yeah, I don't know, like, every time, I'm just waiting for it to go on, like, super sale, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to play it, so I'm like, I don't want to pay, like, $20 for this, but whatever. Okay, so, you can go find the link to his channel and stuff in the description below, so go check that out. Thank you so much for joining me, and this is The Late Night Show with Patty Jack. We will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day, because you deserve it.
Bye!